ring instrument implement what Susan was saying. Kaboko, you can madam microphone. I have the reason why we are not Salam, madam.
Good morning. We are going to love each other. Jennifer, I've had your coffee not once, not twice, so many times. I'm sure you don't know who you are sending coffee to. I've enjoyed. So there's no way someone who has enjoyed your coffee can be your enemy. Eh? My name is Julia Nakelo. I work for National Education Authority as the head of monitoring and evaluation, where performance contract is domicile. I also work for Wellbridge Consultant as a corporate management consultant, dealing with issues strategic planning, management, building, of course, performance contracting, monitoring and evaluation, among others. Joseph put it so bad, like somebody you want to hate. You want to hate. It's true, most of the time we feel so pressed when we are forced to give results. At the end of the day, processes do not count. It is what you're bringing on the table. Passion, this is what you're supposed to deliver. This is what you bring on the table. Perfect. This is what you're supposed to give us today in terms of infrastructure. That is what we are waiting to see. For the first time, I was given an opportunity to give an overview of performance contracting in 20 minutes. I don't know how I've never done that before. Take 5 days doing this. So I hope you will give us that opportunity one more time to have at least a minimum of 3 to go through this. We really want to understand the concept and use it as a tool to help us realize our objective. Thank you for this invitation. I really appreciate it. And allow me to congratulate Starteam Group for this noble move to focus on results, to focus your exercise on performance, because at the end of the day, what matters is results. I will try my best to deliver what I have within Thank you so much. I don't know what you use to. I'm told you did set your target yesterday. You did? Jennifer, did you set your target yesterday? What guided the exercise? The work plan, or you have your strategic plan? You have your work plan. So that is your basis. So I'll just give an overview. Performance contract covers a very wide scope, but within the 20 minutes that I have, allow me to just give an overview. We had a discussion that this exercise we will do a repeat of the same in October, so that you can now go in and sign the contract. Performance contract is a legal document binding. When you sign a performance contract, you are bound. You're bound by the contents of the contract, so that you say if you're supposed to give your report within a specific period, then that is what you're supposed to do. Failure to which, of course, there are rewards and sanctions. You fail to deliver what you signed to deliver at the end of the day, what is required is either you are rewarded for good performance, or of course, if you keep falling back on what you target to do, there are sanctions to it. So it's a legal document, something that you don't just get into and sign. You can set your targets, you can do what you're supposed to do as a head of a strategic business unit within the Starteam group. But now when you're bound by a legal document like a performance contract, then you must be very keen into what you're signing. It's a target that you know very well. If not well facilitated, you cannot deliver it. Then during negotiation, which I will explain, you need to at least come out and explain this is not achievable. So the business world is changing. We are moving from, we are in a transition period. We are moving from management by supervision to management by objective. We do not supervise people anymore. It's even changing in government, where before then people would come to the office, you remove your coat, you hang it there, you're gone. You tell your secretary, be putting my newspaper. You're even in USA for a whole week. They come, they change, you have two coats, they change the coat, they change the newspaper, they open it to show that so and so is around, yeah? But you know you're not there. Right now, it doesn't mind. Go to US, go do your stuff. But at the end of the day, give us results. It's results that matter. So we are moving from supervision. You can't keep walking after people to objectives. We are moving from processes. The end justifies the results. Can we realize it? Regardless of what it takes us. Can we realize it? We are moving from predictability to uncertainty. The business environment is changing. COVID came, things changed. So nothing is predictable. You cannot say tomorrow the Starteam will be what it is today. You may be handling a number of strategic business units today, but tomorrow you may be surprised that all of them fail and maybe the cheap feed that is coming up so strongly. So we all run to feed, or do we all run to the care? Things are changing, and we need to also change as things change. There's nothing that is permanent, everything is temporary right now. Standard work patterns are no longer there. They are flexible work patterns, and that is why you find that there are people who are still working from home from the COVID times. Things are changing, and we also have to transition. You no longer value loyalty, you value performance. The era where a CEO would value a staff because they are loyal, or because they keep going to give gossip or something like that, is long gone. It is about your performance, about your skills. What are you bringing on the table? You find yourself going because then you're not adding value to the institution. There's no linear growth anymore. It is now multiple career growth. You may be handling case today. Tomorrow there's an opening and a passion, and you need to move. So you don't just want to grow from an intern as a case to a barrister. No, no, no. You can see an opportunity under the infrastructure and design and move there, because we try to touch every place. One time learning now is a lifetime. Today you're learning about performance contracting, tomorrow you're learning about a different thing. We have to be committed. So that is the changing business environment where we must adopt. We are changing. We are not static, and we are not where we used to be. Things are changing, and the sooner we learn that the environment is changing, the easier for us to adopt to the new system. Okay. As a form of introduction, there's an adage in performance where we say if you don't know where you're going, any route can take you there. If you do not know where you're going, right now all of us know that there's a door here. Assume we didn't know where this door was, and this room is locked, and we just want to get out. All of us will go in any direction. So if you don't know where you're going, any route can take you there. Good, bad, come up with strategic plans. In your case, I've learned that you have a work plan, which I believe at some point, now that the group is here and handling so many business units, you'll have an opportunity to develop a strategic plan to guide your activities moving forward. So you need a plan, that's a policy document that guides the operations of the team, so that you know if it is fit in the next 5 years, where do we want to be? Then break your 5 years into 1 year, 1 year, because performance contract is at 1 year. You have a 5-year plan broken down for starting for the next 5 or 10 years. Where do you want to be in the next 10 years? I went through your page, the site, and I saw your vision. I believe that things based on how far you have grown from limited to international to group, you need to now coin all these things and come up with a vision that does not only talk about profit, but talks about what that group is all about. So that you know, because I believe there are people who feel left out. There's nothing special in our vision. It is about supplying. It's about providing food, agricultural food or something. So we need to bring on board these other strategic business units. We will need to bring on board fashion, we need to bring on board food, we need to bring on board I saw quite a number, so that we all feel part of the team. So once you have your work plan with you, I know you will develop your strategic plan, so that your work plan will show you where you're going. What's the period of your work plan? 1 year? It's 1 year. Of course, that will now cover our performance contract. Right? Ideally, a plan should be long. We cannot only plan for a year. We should at least try and plan longer. Then we work towards achieving our plan with milestones, yearly milestones. Okay. So the introduction of performance contract. Actually, performance contract came from results-based management. From the government side, it was introduced when things were not working during the economic recovery strategy. We were trying to recover our economy. And then we brought on board performance contract to help us be accountable to the results we are delivering to the people of Kenya. It is not only working with the government, now there are so many private entities that are using performance contract as a tool to measure their performance. I know one current country club and many others who are now, they are using PC. PC is like their anchor. It was introduced in Kenya among other tools like the balance scorecard, the RRI, Rapid Results Initiative. So what has really held Kenya together is the performance contract. It was meant to deliberate policy to improve on performance, service delivery, and governance. Remember, it is our duty to deliver service. Of course, as government, it's our duty to deliver service to the people of Kenya. You have a client. It's your duty to deliver quality service to your client. Focusing employees' mindsets on results. At the end of the day, what do we want to achieve? It's not how do we. The how is there, yes, but what's the result? We are shifting from processes to results. And again, we are focusing our attention on resources to ensure that we achieve our objectives and targets. Resources are never adequate, not anywhere, unless they are adequate. So resources are never adequate, they are limited. So we ensure that we focus our attention. If you want to do 20 things, for example, over the next 5 years, you break your 20 things down. The first year, based on the resources that you have, then that means you will only do, if you are meant to do 5 in the first year, then you are only given like 5 million to implement what you're supposed to implement. Then you're like, okay, let me break this down. Prioritize. So PC, results-based management, helps you prioritize, helps you focus on where you should put your effort. So what is performance contract? How many of us have heard about performance contract? Oh, very good. I normally don't assume that people are able to understand what this is. There are people, PC, from the time PC was rolled out to date, it's still an elephant in the room. Performance contracts is a free, underline the word free, a freely negotiated agreement between two parties. Freely because you negotiate, and it is between two parties, not three and not four. If Jennifer, allow me to use, you're going to sign a performance contract with this. These are my targets, not just sales. The other things that you do, the other items, indicators, targets that you have in your case that are contributing towards the overall performance of your case. So you're signing this with your immediate supervisor. Who is your immediate supervisor?
Hello.
Margaret. Who is your immediate supervisor? Yes. So you sign your performance contract because he commits, facilitates you, and you commit to implement the targets that you have set. Then you append your signature. So it's a freely negotiated agreement between two. You commit, he commits, you move on. Then you go implementing what you have agreed. So Mark, I'm talking about free because you negotiate, you sit, I understand that. You sit and agree on how to do some of these things. Why performance contract? I'm very sure you're wondering, but we have been working, we have been delivering, we have seen growth. Why do we need to sign our performance contract? Why do we need to be tied? Yet we are even bringing the required return on investment. One, it is a management tool for measuring performance against negotiated targets. You did set your targets yesterday. You will negotiate and sign. Then how do we measure? How do we determine that your negotiated targets have been met? Because if you do not measure, then maybe you've not done it. It's a strategy to improve performance. PC is growth oriented. So if this year, maybe it's about our profit margin, we have made a profit of 20 million, for example, you cannot target to do 8 or 5. You want to grow, growth oriented. So the next financial year, you say, we target to increase our net income by 2%, or from 20 million to 30 million. How will you arrive at that? How will you do it? For us to move from 20 million to 30, these are the things. Now, those are the targets we're setting. Those are some of the indicators that you need to monitor at the end of the day and measure. So I say, okay, these are the things they are supposed to do. This is what they have done. So it's a strategy to ensure that performance is improved. It's sought to increase productivity and improve service delivery. You know what your customers want, you know what the clients that you're dealing with want. When they give you feedback, then you're prompted to improve. Service industry is very tricky. Unless you get feedback and you're able to improve and make the services better, then before you know it, you'll overtake it. Basis for accountability for results. Like I said, nobody will push you, nobody is looking for you. You have this to deliver. At the end of the day, you just have your account. Okay? We are still together. I hope Japoteza Mutu. That's a moment of truth. Fred Smith of FedEx International once said that what made you successful in the past will not make you successful today, neither will it make you successful. So what do you need to do? Innovate, improve, or vanish. You may be doing so well today. Like I will stand here and boast that the last 2 years, the National Education Authority has scored excellent performance and has become number 1 in the country in its performance contract, delivering in the area of 4 mandates. But we can't keep on doing things the same way. We will be overtaken by them, or we will vanish. If we are doing boreholes, if we are doing water cans, then we need to change. If that is what made us reach there, then for us to grow, we cannot keep doing things the same way and expect different results. No, it can never happen. You cannot do business the same way. I want to believe that even Starteam did not start as Starteam. Am I right or wrong? You had to change and brand yourself and move so that you cannot just stay where you are. Otherwise, you'd have vanished. So, not what made you successful in the past. CEO will not make you successful today. Neither will it make you successful. We need to innovate. We need to find ways of doing things. And I'm happy we are doing this here. We are doing performance management for this young team because I believe in innovation and in growth because we do not want to vanish. Some of the objectives of performance contracting, we want to institutionalize a performance-oriented culture. Whatever we do, at the end of the day, what matters is performance. That should be our focus. That is the focus of PC. That whatever it is that we do, even this retreat here, it needs to have a performance kind of output we expect from. I believe we are not going to live here the way we came. There's something that we are going to pick from this exercise that will enhance our performance. If it's not at institutional level, but even as an individual. Okay? Improve performance, deliver quality and timely service, improve productivity in order to maximize profit. We are not in business to make fun. We are in business to maximize our profits. Even as we try our best to deliver service to our clients, at the end of the day, we also want to make profit because we have to earn, isn't it? To institute a sense of accountability and transparency. Long time ago, not happening now, in government, people are very accountable, but I don't know if they are transparent. This is on a very light note. You go on a safari, you write, you give an interest, you go to school, and of course, you're going for 5 days, and you have the work ticket from Sunday to Saturday. You're supposed to go on Sunday and come back on Saturday. And you're supposed to sleep in a hotel 1 day. Those are days when people come and claim what you have used. Julie goes, takes some matatu, travels to Kisumu, sleeps in a hotel, or sleeps at home. Okay? I'm going to Kisumu, I sleep at home, and I attend the training. Am I not accountable to the institution? I am. But I did not sleep. When I come back, I give my accountant receipts what Imperial Express, for example, is 18,000 per night. So I bring receipts for 18,000 per night for the 5 nights. But remember, I slept. I am accountable. I've accounted for every single cent I was given. But am I transparent? Am I transparent? Yeah. So you're very accountable. You will account to the cent, but you're not transparent. PC tries to ensure that we are accountable and transparent, even in utilizing our resources as well as having our plans. We try to measure and evaluate performance, create order. There is order. You know clearly what it is that you're supposed to do. Fine, there are those moments that some things come up, but there is order. You know, this year, this is my focus. So everybody who is working under you, be it intern or other staff, you know where your focus is and what all of you are working towards. When you do your own PC with the CEO, you now go back, now with my team. How can I distribute work among the 3 people that I have so that we all work towards the common goal of the strategic business unit that we are heading here. It involves management with emphasis on outcomes. He cannot handle it. The CEO cannot handle it. That is being true. Let people have operational autonomy. I am the head of infrastructure. There are new things. Maybe that's my area. My area is monitoring and evaluation. There are contemporary issues in the field. I am well conversant with that area. Give me operational autonomy to help me deliver effectively. So if you keep telling me what to do, then you deny me an opportunity to also come out and show my expertise. PC default management, you do not handle every platform. Bring it down. Let them set their targets. They will tell you how they plan to deliver on their targets moving forward. There are these widely recognized premises surrounding performance contracts. We say that what gets measured gets done. If you're able to measure it, you will do it. And I hope we need set very smart targets that are measurable. If you do not measure results, you cannot tell success to people. You can just be working. We are just working. So you cannot tell whether we have succeeded. You do not know where you are going. You do not know the profit margin you wanted to make, but you are working. You are just working. So you will not tell whether you have succeeded or you have failed. You have succeeded in what you targeted to do, or you have failed. You cannot see success. If you cannot see success, then you cannot reward it. We are struggling. One strategic business unit has pushed the staff, has worked beyond their capability. They've worked day and night. Like feeds, for example, they've done animal feeds, they've done their best, and they are very successful. They've increased their profit margin. But if you did not measure it, if you did not plan for it, then you can fail to see their success. And if you cannot reward success, you are probably rewarding. You will not see how much feeds have done, and because you have a liking maybe for their cave, all your compliments will move to that direction. So you fail, you cannot reward success. The feed people who work so hard, then you're already failure instead. Because you're demoralizing me who is handling it there. Even if I try as much as I push my people to their limit, nobody will see my success. If you cannot see success, you cannot learn from it. If we are successful, like allow me to use this example once again. Having performed well in the last 2 years with excellent performance, we get a number of visits, not from Kenya alone, even institutions, government institutions from all over the world, to come and benchmark with the education authority. What is it that you are doing different? Okay? Then they learn. They learn from us. They learn, they come, they realize this is what they are not doing and this is what we are doing. Then they copy something, they pick. Actually, they pick something. So if you cannot see success, you cannot learn from it. Until you recognize success, then you will learn from it. The moment you learn from it, you will move. If you cannot recognize failure, you cannot correct it. The same thing. Unless you recognize that this route is failing, how can we revamp? How can we make it vibrant? What can we do? We need to pump more resources. Am I in that point of diminishing returns there? What else do we need to do? If you can demonstrate results, that will be public. If what you're doing can demonstrate results, that the coffee you're giving us is of high quality, then you stand not only to win public support, you will corporate support. You will get business will come looking for you. Very fast. This is the integrated IPMS means integrated performance management system. This is the cycle. This is what we need to plan. Look for resources, deliver, measure how far you have traveled, report. Reporting is key in performance contracting. Then review. It's a cycle. This is what I plan. I plan to engage, let's say, which example can I use? Somebody who feels set their target yesterday. Or sell. Fashion. One of your targets. And what is the monthly target? 5 million, for example. I'm giving an example. 5 million monthly. That is the plan. Then you break it down for you to get the 5 million. What do you need? I believe you broke it down. Okay? So this 5 activities, for example, that is now plan. Then you now say, want to see this is what I want. For me to do this, these are the resources I need. One, employ for me two people who are good at one, or that is human resource, or give me at least 200,000 to go out network. You know, that is plan. Then resourcing, then deliver. You have been given what you need. Of course, you will not be given everything once. Limited. Whatever you're given, you will prioritize. Then go out. Come end of the month, because that's your monthly target. End of the month, measure yourself. How far am I traveling with my target? Did I realize the 5 million? Did I fall short of my 5 million? If I did, what were the gaps? What are the challenges? What areas did I do well based on the 5 activities that I had did? If I surpassed, what are some of the things that made me surpass? And if they made me surpass, are they going to keep me surpassing, or do I need to change that? Okay. If I just got what I was supposed to get 5 million, then you can't shower in our place. You do not dry where you have showered. You shower here, you can't stand and dry, you know. Yes. You have to move and go shower elsewhere. So you have to move from your just delivering that and doing a different thing. After you've measured, report, document it. You cannot lie to yourself that you will remember only the strategies you employed, the things you did, document it, report the same to the person who contracted you. Then review, change. That is the review. Change that. Keep changing. Keep changing. FedEx said what made you successful in the past will not make you today or tomorrow. Change. Tell you now the same. I don't want to do this. I want to do something different. So for starting your IPMS, of course you have your vision, which I believe at some point you will review to focus on all the strategic business units. Then you have your budget, you have money, and you have human resource, the people who are supposed to do it. Then the strategic business units are meant to deliver. We have the start, the fee, the cost, among others. Evaluation, measure yourself. In government, we do mid-year evaluation and end year. It is at the end year, when we do end year evaluation, that's where actually our promotions are done based on our evaluation results. If any promotion is to be done, if you're to be taken a job group higher, if you're to be complimented or rewarded, anything based on our performance. So we measure, see how far we've fallen short or we have surpassed. We report, then we review. Yeah, we encourage joint or rather peer review. How did you do it? What's changing it? Because somebody who is handling feeds will definitely handle how coffee works. So you can jointly review before an external person comes in to do the actual evaluation. You know, at times you cannot do your own marketing. So we encourage peer review. The performance contracting cycle runs like this. Again, I'll share this presentation. Of course, in government, it starts with the review of guidelines. That will be very different for you now that you're not copying it. You're picking your it's called what you're only taking. You're using the tool. So we review the guidelines, and you can do the same here because then things change. Then we identify our targets, which we did yesterday. From identification of your targets, you now sit with your supervisor, negotiate. This is what I want to do. You may have picked a target that the contract. We have a contractee and a contractor. You are the contractee. Your supervisor is the contractor. Like I said, performance contract has two parties, a contractor and a contractee. Contractor, if you're signing with the CEO, is your contractor. You are the contractee. So you sit and negotiate. The contractee agrees, okay, fashion, you need 5 million, and your target is 5 million, and you need 200,000 to go networking and do your businesses for you to realize this. Then you do what? You sign. Or if he does not agree, it's at negotiation point that he says, no, 200 is too high, you can deliver this with 50,000. Okay? That is negotiation. Then you vet, you verify these things are okay before you. the signing stage. After signing, you're given your PC. Go out and implement. If it's running for a period of 1 year, you can decide to report on quarterly basis or on monthly basis. Business, I know people like doing monthly reporting. So on monthly basis, you give us your report. And of course, you will come up with your work plan broken down into months. The target is 5 million for the whole year, for each and every month, because again, you understand your area. You know when sales are high and you know when sales are low. Like now, I'm very sure you're really selling because it's very cold. So you know in this month, you do so well. When it is too hot, I'm very sure the percentage. So you understand your operation. And when you're doing your work plan, you're expected to show. That even makes somebody understand or see that this person really understands the nature, the environment under which they operate. Because then when you're breaking down the 2 million in your cafe, then you say in January, February, March, then you will see it dropping, then peaking at some point. That is how you expect to deliver. So when I come in July, and you say you're going to give us a sales worth 1 million, for example, then I measure you on that million. Did you get it in that month? If you're reporting on quarterly basis, or if you had reported that you're going to get that in July, and things have changed. Remember, we have climate issues now. Things have changed. Instead of the weather being too cold in July, so you make up in as long as at the end of the financial year, the target of 2 million is realized. That is the implementation bit. Break down your work plan accordingly. You understand your area better than anyone else. Then submit it. If it's monthly, submit your report. And when you're submitting your report, you do not only submit a report that 2 million, we got 1 million. Give evidence for that. Evidence is very key in performance. If you cannot support it, then you have not done it. If it's about sales, you know what you can give as evidence for selling something. Then do a midterm review. Am I still on course with my target? COVID came. We had set our target at the beginning of the year. Then COVID came. It disrupted everybody and everything. You know, when you sit at media, you now need to re-strategize. That is why we say you have to sit back and review. You have to sit and re-strategize. This is what we are facing right now. Nobody is going to any cafeteria anymore. Change our business. Review your target. Sit down again with your supervisor, because if you fail to review, you had signed a contract that is binding. You will be punished for something that was beyond you. We call them exogenous. Nature forced you to be like that. So sit and review. In case of anything, in case of any change in the business environment, a good staff, a good employee, because you really understand your area and you can see how things are moving. Sit back. My supervisor, this is what I'm seeing in this environment, and things are changing. Can you review our target? Or if things are getting even better, can we review our target higher? It's good for all of us. Then evaluation is done. We do moderation and we rank. When you're doing performance contracts, you must pull people and rank. We rank when we come to evaluation in our next session that we will have away from here. Then I'll show you how we rank and how we evaluate our performance. That if you have 1, you are at excellent, and if you have 5, you are poor. And then we rank all of you. We say, Margaret, infrastructure design is coming first, procurement, for example, is coming last, something like that. We do that. And then you publicly announce, you call the meeting again, say, this is how we have performed. This area, this is the areas that boosted you, this is what you did so well, these are the areas that made you fail, so that we learn from our experiences. What I said earlier, if you cannot see success, you cannot learn from it. So it gives you an opportunity to learn from the success area. I've explained this, the umbrella organ of the organization, which is responsible for strategic thinking, like in your case, And the top management, of course, responsible for strategic planning and effective execution yourselves. There are people who are under you. You also put them under either appraisal or sign with them contracts. At each level, there will be a contractor. Even those who are working under you can contract them. Will be the contractor and they will be the contractee. Setting of targets. I know you did that yesterday, but in PC it is the most important aspect of performance contracting because it starts with setting your targets. It demonstrates the extent to which performance is desired. If as a unit you desire to move to open in like 5 countries, starting case, for example, it is your desire. It is actually target setting is the core of performance contracting. It will show you how far you want to move. Again, it also shows those people who are really afraid, too afraid for excellence, too afraid for success because they've been moving things even when the opportunity has availed itself. Yeah? It provides measures against which we measure our success or failure. It's done annually, hence an indication of year-to-year progress. Like I said, it's progressive. Performance from the targets are progressive. Today we targeted 5 million as profit margin. Next year we need to try and up it so that we are growing. It's growth oriented. Yeah? Targets form the basis of detailed activities broken down. I said we break down. Our target for the whole year is this. Now we break it down to months. It makes our work very easy. When you break your work plan into deliverables, taking into consideration the timelines that you're supposed to give reports, it makes you work so easy. By then, you'll never find yourself struggling. I'll give my experience at NIA. Of course, the first year it was very hard because I kept following people for reports. The culture had not sunk in us. We treat it as in a document until the first year when we scored and ranked and the basis for promotion, basis for any reward of performance, then someone realizes, oh, this is about me too. The moment they embraced it's not an issue. I do not go looking for reports. Before we've set a date for reporting, 5th of every month following the end of a quarter, we report on quarterly basis. So what happens, even before 5th, reports are in because we have embraced the culture of performance. And you find that work is made easier when you embrace it. Where do we get our targets? We have said we have our work plan, and that is what we are using as a Starteam to draw your targets. Purpose of target setting, we generate our indicators. In our next session, I'll tell you how we generate indicators from the targets, determine the expected outputs. What is it that you want to get from each and every activity? If I do this, if I go out networking, with every network, what do I want to get? Are they focused networks? Or are they people who are only assuming are my network? Establish achievement level of performance indicators and monitor and evaluate progress. That is the purpose of target setting. You will then know you're moving from what to what. Some of the characteristics, again, I repeat, growth oriented, very comprehensive. It covers all areas. Like all the strategic business units, I expect to see now the PC that you will find all it will touch on all their areas, all the strategic business units. You will touch all. Benchmark, you look at your past trends, you look at international standards, you compare yourself with international standards. You're not only operating here, so you also need to compare yourself with international standards. Some of the characteristics you have to link performance contract to the budget. You cannot do what? Resources, something whose resources you do not have. Very specific and very realistic. Targets are simple, easily understood, attainable, measurable. They indicate areas of priority. We cannot do it with the limited resources that we have. If it is attached to reward, then it's motivating. If you attach it to reward, I'll be motivated to do Okay, you will sign. Design. This is the design of our office. I said we are only doing an overview. We'll go into details. We will have an opportunity to go into details, and now whatever targets we had set, we do what? We now develop a performance contract with a cover page and a matrix indicating where we are coming from and where we are going. We have a cover page which shows who is entering into contract with who, and then we have the preamble, the purpose for which you are entering that contract. Of course, the vision, the mission, the core values, core functions, and the what normally happens, you find that there's a unit, a strategic business unit, for example, that we want to have their own vision. Of course, there's the general vision of the starting group, but have decided now we need a vision. What are we working towards? In as much as it's building to the vision of the group, but this is specific to them. It happens in some cases, but others they just take the corporate vision, you come up with your mission, because then it shows you how you want to deliver your vision, the commitments and responsibilities of them. The contractor, the contractee, that is you, you must commit that you will do everything that you have set to do in that year. The contractor too must commit, because again, there are times you are giving so much to do, but you're not facilitating. How do you expect me to do that? Government expects National Irrigation Authority to deliver 500,000 acres. Okay, for me to deliver 500,000 acres in a year, I need 23 billion, as you have given me. Is that not true? So the contractor must also tell me that I will get his support to deliver that which we are committing. So he must also commit. Then we come with the frequency of monitoring. How often do you want us to monitor progress? Monthly, quarterly, biannually? You agree on the frequency, and then the duration. This contract will run for a period of 1 year. Maybe your year runs from October to September. If that's the period, then that is what you do. Then you have the matrix. The matrix now takes your target in specific areas. I do not expect you to pick the matrix as done by government. In most areas, we have always domesticated to suit the client, to suit the area that you are serving. So that basically is the design of performance. You will have your cover page telling us who and who are entering the contract, the preamble, the purpose for which you're entering that contract, part one, which has your vision, your mission, and other things, your commitments as a contractee, your commitments as a contractor, how often we will monitor, and then the period that our piece is taking which now has the units to be measured. I believe we have a session to do that. Negotiation, I have explained it. Talk. It's free. It's a freely negotiated agreement. You sit, become appraisal. Can we agree? This is what he may have his intentions, his desires as the CEO, but you also know what is attainable, what is achievable, because you have worked for maybe a period of 1 year and you have seen how the business, the trends, how the business world is behaving. So at times you just need to bring common sense to our operations. So you negotiate, you ensure that it covers the scope of the target, the hard and soft areas. They are very hard areas, technical areas, and they're also the soft things. Like for me to do my work, the technical work, that I need a laptop, for example. Usually I can't do it without my work is always out in the field. Give me a desktop, So there are those soft issues, soft skills that you have to take care of during negotiation. It is also at negotiation that you vet. You say, okay, this one agreed, and then you sign. Reporting is quarterly, is annual, is monthly, depending on how you want to domesticate. There's weekly, there's weekly, there's for us to really see results. So we will agree. How often do you want us to report? And then evaluation. It's conducted at the end of the financial year. You can choose to do media and end year. Evaluation is based on the negotiated target. We never change targets at evaluation. And that approach is called ex ante approach. There's post, ex post, where you just work. And then at the end of it all, I come to evaluate you based on things that I assume you should have done. The Kenyan approach, the one that the Kenyan government has adopted, is the ex ante, where we agree. We agree prior to you starting your work, we agree these are the targets. Then you deliver. So at evaluation, we don't change. There are times when you surpass your target so much that the evaluator feels like you had set a soft target. You should have pushed yourself and delivered 10 million instead of 5 million. But you did not do that. There are other factors, like I said, exogenous factors. Most of the times when you're being evaluated, like I said, when COVID came, something had to just stop. So those are some of the exogenous. But again, you will not be awarded for exogenous if you cannot defend it. If you cannot prove that this is how the closure affected us, you have to document it. Document that travels were cut for this period. On a monthly basis, we used to make this. For the period that the country stopped this is what we lost. Document it, because that is the only way you can explain why you, because otherwise everybody would have an excuse. Okay? So exogenous factors are factors that are beyond you. Factors that, okay, we call them nature. Nature has the floods, the factors that are beyond you, but you cannot be awarded unless you document and support. And that also brings me to the issue of supporting evidence. You must provide evidence for every achievement you claim. Be it the number of bags, be it sales, be it the number of cups of coffee, you must give evidence. And we will agree when it comes to the kind of supporting evidence that you need to defend your achievement, we will agree on that. Then, of course, I talked about ranking, giving results. We look for a day like this, come, give our results, rank, and say, so this unit is number one, and this unit is coming last. What are some of the reasons why this unit is coming? And you may be surprised at times. Your unit may come last, but with a very good. When you're a clever student among clever, when you're a weak student among clever, how do we say clever among clever? You're number last, but with 440 marks. Somebody's number one with 447. So everybody is there. You know, we have all passed. But in scoring and ranking, somebody has to be up there, somebody has to be down here so that we know how we are traveling. Then when a unit is number one, for example, is it only me who is being rewarded? There are people I've worked with here. How do we go about reward and how do we go about sanction? You can also appraise your staff. If you do not want to sign with them the PC, you can decide to just pick targets and give them and do performance appraisal. An area that we can also take like half a day discussion. Again, Howard said, people want to be part of something larger than themselves. They want to be part of something they really are proud of, that they can fight for, sacrifice for. I believe we all want to be part of the Starteam. We can sacrifice for it because we trust that it will take us somewhere. It may not be soon, maybe short term, mid term, or long term, but we want to be part of this. One day, one time, when Starteam will be up there and people are talking about it like we are talking about you know what, you want to be part of it. Because you sacrifice for it and because you trust it. I've taken more than 20 minutes, but I appreciate it. So I believe we have time to now actualize what we have discussed.
Leanne. I want us to stand up and clap for her. She has done very well. To deliver content, I do similar job like she does where I work, and I'm sure from what she has said, she has told me several times. She was number one, I was number one. So can we clap for her better? So how do we go? We do one, two, three, one, two, three, three times. So can we go start? One, two, three, one, two, three, one, two, three. Thank you. And now your seat. We have questions for her quickly before we go to the next session. Um, when ICT is there with me, then we have challenge in settling in one place. There with me. And also, as being an adult class, yeah, we need to be very interactive. Any question for her before we move to the next session? I try to check whether the next presenter is available. So, any burning question for Julian? Kama tumeelewa kabisa. Yes, Ilan. Joseph, I'll give her a chance to give the roadmap to that big day. Yeah, for that big day.
Thank you so much. Yes, we are signing our contract. The signing date is 1st of October because our plan that was here from 1st of October to September. We did set our target. By the way, there's nothing that is remaining. We already have our target. Even without going through the design and everything, we can even sign them now. Don't you think so? Are we ready to sign it? Are we ready? We're not ready. We already have our target. But I am very available, very available. I like working with people who are starting this journey. To some people, it's a long process. To some, after you are not having one to actualize it. So before the 1st of October, we decide, actually 1st of October, we are starting the implementation. We need to sign end of September. the last day of September, we append our tickets. So as we, for us to do that, you can share, we can share our target. And I should be able to engage you again and keep the framework. Now, the way it is, or you can share a platform where we can be doing this. I'll share my contact, and of course, based on the engagement agreement, we can do back and forth. Look at my PC before now, you submit it to the but by end of September, we should be signing our performance contract so that fast we start accelerating. There's no delay. If you're saying we are not ready today, we need to our target. Because I think it must be very simple, measurable. We are moving from this to this, let it be clear, not process based that we are going to build. That is not a target. We are going to build. And maybe in the building process, we are going to buy cement, but can we get what is it that you want? So that is, and of course, that will have to be sign up. It's not what stop down there. So you sign fast. Then you give us authority to now sign. I want to believe that we are accepting from what the people sit there, this there, the government there, everybody sit there because they all want one. And over and above what you as the policy person is supposed to do, that so I think it's somebody who at least so, so that is what we are going to do. We have tried to come up with something, and I can see we feel like it's too early for us to sign it. Right? So let me give you that time. But in the process, let's come up with that we will say this is what we can do within this time. So that by that time, we have our
Thank you, Jilan. Yeah, uh, you will come to like that as we continue. But in the beginning, it might be challenging. When when I was doing my first job, the first job that I was employed to do, my work was to destroy gardens. I was a quality controller in a government factory. So I was my job was to stand at the end of the line. You know, in government we follow a line. Everyone has got a part to do. And then at the end of where the final product is, that's where I was stationed. So and I was given the mandate and authority that my work is any garment that does not meet the standard, I destroy it and return it back to the beginning of the line. So you can imagine, was I afraid to the team that was working that day? No. Definitely I can. But as I continue working, I came and discovered something else called business model innovation. Now this is where currently these are the things that we currently. And so as we continue, I tell you, we're now to innovate so that you don't see her as an enemy, but as a friend. I know we are behind schedule, but we manage to continue. We will see on how to innovate so that we can manage. I want to welcome you, Nelson. Please, the floor is yours. You can take us to the next.
It's okay.
Good morning. Morning. Yeah, I'm happy to be here and make a brief presentation about the coffee regulations, the regulatory aspect, and the Kenyan coffee industry. And I'm not going to be a little bit into details, but I will just request one thing that I want to introduce health certificate that would like also interacting with so that and based on acquire, I work for the Independent Food Authority, based at Coffee Directorate. People may not understand Coffee Directorate, what it entails, but take it for me, that it is the common coffee for the Kenya. Sometimes back in the year 2013, the government decided that I will need some of the government and put it for a certain kind of use my sister here farm. And about 8 or 10 seasons were allowed to get the government home directors under one organization known as the However, the functions and the role of those former government agencies still remain the same. So I'm based at Coffee Directorate, for the Kenya as the director. I'm in charge of market research and product development in the organization. So please stay welcome and we are going to discuss. Allow me to just not each and every person I think and where you are based and what you are doing in that particular strategy unit of the Starteam area. So maybe I start from that. My sister just moving the meeting as a presenter, then we just go very fast. No need to meet it, but it's not a group, it's only a political. Just tell me your name. Yes. The president. Good, thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Someone what I comments from a coffee farm. Volunteer. Thank you. Just introduce yourself and what you do at Starteam. Thank you very much. Where are you based? How are you? Thank you.
Cynthia Childress, Sales and Marketing Manager, Starteam International. And I'm here, I was work for APA. And that's a Business Directorate,
Yes.
Technical Department, and also Tea Board of Kenya, which is not under APA, previously
Yes.
Tea Directorate,
Yes.
Regulations and Compliance Department.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. I think that's written in my name. My partner. Yes, it is to cut the long. It's able to save the presentation. So it is your logo. Amen. Amen. By coincidence. Thank you. By coincidence. Amen. And my sister, you are? Yes. Thanks. It's only my colleague or my partner that about myself so that one cannot get the minutes. I've learned a lot from my sister and I'm going to get our contact to help us to shape coffee directly. Because next week, that one, you are cascading. done what she has told me. We have done the performance of something. We have identified our targets. We have come up with the structure. Now, before the site, we just want to cascade. That is the discussion she was talking about. We are doing it next week at Chaka Hotel, the strategic course-directed department that is marketing, compliance, and technical. The way my sister said, that is how we are started. We are having it next week at one at Chaka for about 1 week. We are going to do implement what actually she has just told you. That is why I'm saying my partner who has just decided to be saying that I was the only one who was supposed to present. She doesn't want to complain my work. I think it is by God decide that I missed my road. I was circled around the building place when you are calling me. I was supposed to make the first presentation, but I think it was God decide that this is our presentation, which is really critical even for my own personal level as I manage the department. I'm going to get our contract. We have one who is the champion, we call the PC champions, but not as elaborate as you have said. Thank you, Joseph, for the invitation. And allow me now to go straight into my presentation. I was told to talk about the regulations that govern the Kenyan coffee industry. I'm going to do that very briefly. But I felt that it's better for me to add something about Kenyan coffee. How is the aspect in terms of export, and what are the other factors in terms of seed? He told me sometimes when we met that he owns some coffee shops, that is cafes. I decided to zero in on domestic coffee consumption, what we do and where we are, so that we can appreciate the value chain. I've also done something about the international market, where we export our coffee, and I'm told as a farmer who says that he likes to see the value chain, we do also export. So briefly, I'm going to be to bring a perspective, and I hope by the end of the day, we'll be able to carry along my work. My colleague, who is also a doctor, yeah, we have questions in the Kenyan coffee. People, there's a lot of myths that coffee is not good. People tell you it has got some kind of challenges when I take coffee, water, that, what I do. I'm happy that I have a doctor who is able to appreciate and tell us the health benefits of coffee consumption. And you'll find that coffee consumption is also like medicinal value. There are some kind of diseases that are being controlled by coffee consumption. So briefly, allow me to proceed. I now taken time. I just want to tell you how this is the value chain or where you are. So every person along the Kenyan coffee industry is able to know where you are. From a small holder, you can belong to a coffee cooperative society. You can have a coffee cooperative society where you can form part and have your coffee. And then because you are very few, you amalgamate, that is the segregation of your produce, then it can be taken to another. You can also be a small estate farm of 10 acres. You are allowed, or you can be over, you can have a large estate farm with over 10 hectares, and then you are allowed to given what is called pumping station license. Then you can take your coffee to a miller. Millers, they do mill the coffee, and then it is taken to marketing agents. And the marketing agents have present the coffee at the Nairobi Coffee Exchange now at the auction for people to buy. Then we have dealers and exporters. Dealers and exporters will buy this coffee. So, are you a dealer? I don't want that to say. Are you a dealer? Yeah. Your starting is a dealer. They buy coffee. So you can see where you are placed. They buy coffee and now they can do either thing. They can export, where I met him for the first time in US. That's when we became friends. Or you can also supply the local market where the local baristas are to serve the domestic market for consumption. So I wanted to have that conceptualization so that you know how where you get in along the Kenyan politics.
I was asked to talk about the Kenya the crops regulations and currently what we have that regulates the Kenyan coffee is the crops coffee general rules regulation of 2019. But it is an elaborate document. We work with the regulations, and I may not exhaustively discuss it all here. I'm just going to pick some of the critical areas. You can download it in the Kenya law reforms. If you go to the Kenya law reforms, you will find the Kenya regulations, the court regulation of 2019. Of course, it was amended about 1 month ago, but still the amended part of it is also in the Kenya law reform. A grower, this one defines important terms: a grower, coffee sales process, function organizer, direct sales, direct settlement system. Those are some of the terms. A grower, you have to be licensed. A planter is considered as a grower. The one who is having less than 10 or 10 acres. When you are a farmer and you go to the society, you are considered as a grower. So these are for purposes of licensing include cooperative societies, unions, associations, and districts. You are given a license to undertake that activity. So my friend there is a grower. He can be a grower on his own, or he can be a grower when they form a company or a union for an estate. I'm told Starteam is also a grower. So when you're a grower, you must have your planter's license. It allows you to take that coffee from milling, and then at the end of the day, you present that coffee to the house. Coffee sales proceeds means monetary consideration received from the exchange of coffee or money for green coffee. Exchange for money for green coffee. That is when you get the proceeds. And then they also organize it themselves. An organization of which is established for the purpose of organizing coffee auctions in Kenya as licensed by the authority, and the authority currently is coffee directed or half. We are coming up with something called DSS, which was not there before. It is supposed to receive and discuss sales proceeds to facilitate payment of the coffee proceeds. So we have the settlement account, means an account with direct settlement system into it. All coffee sales proceeds sold at the exit are paid. So when all these coffee have been sold, they are still paid in the settlement account, which is supposed to be managed by the DSSS, and then it is going to be wired in your account depending on how the information has been structured. So if you sold about 20 bucks and you presented 20 bucks and the 20 bucks have been sold, only that money belongs or is has been given what is called outer number, and it is tracked. It is what is going to be wired into your account. Then we are coming up with settlement banks. The settlement bank means a bank defined under section 2 of the Banking Act that is licensed by the Central Bank of Kenya, approved by the authority to facilitate the maintenance of segregated accounts to establish and operate a direct settlement system and payment of proceeds to farmers. So now it means therefore that no coffee, no proceed from that particular coffee will go to somebody else other than you. Previously, it used to be paid by the marketing agents, and the law has really abolished that. And these are the new regulations that my friend Mr. President requested me to set some light. Management of the on floor, we would like to know how is it done, the direct settlement system, and then the conclusion of the bidding of the transaction is supposed to be done at the table. We have something in there, something called the noted list. The management would like that this transaction is finished on the floor. I'm talking about this because that is a possibility. They must participate in the auction. So for for you to get that coffee, they participate at the Nairobi Coffee Exchange and transact the business and do the bidding competitive so that the highest bidder wins. So there are no contents. Wherever you sit, nowadays you bid from the comfort of your office. Whether you are in your house, you are in the office, you have done it online, you just give the login credentials, and then you can now access the sales catalog as presented by the marketing agents. Now, when they say that you want to buy coffee maybe from another organization, from another society, you'll be able to compete with the rest who have been licensed, to, to take that, to participate in that activity. Management of direct sales is quite critical. Also, financing of the Kenyan coffee industry is also very critical for the success of this industry. All these ones are contained in the regulations. Direct settlement system is a receipt and disbursement facility that is only deals with finance money and by a commercial bank regulated, as I said earlier, regulated by the Central Bank Act. On behalf of the growers receive the money from the sales and then wire directly to the buyers. The purpose of the DSS is that there are some weaknesses that were identified with the marketing agents. The marketing agents used to get money, and the regulations require that the money should be wired within 14 days after the sales. But you find that they used to take more than 14 days. Then then again, they have this money, and they don't give it to growers, but they are willing to give you a credit facility at an agreed rate, which is maybe about 12 or 13%, because the farmer needs the money, they tell you the so. So you borrow from them, but you borrow from your own money. And then they tie you, yet the money, the coffee has been sold. So that is why we decided to come with the DSS, which is supposed to disperse the coffee sales proceeds to the buyers, from the buyers to the respective recipients after settling the growers' financial obligation. It takes over from the commercial banking agents because they have been found that there are some challenges that they are doing. Then at the same time, the challenges that I've seen that there was still with the farmers fund, and they trade and they come and give their credit on that. And when you want to leave them because there's a contractual arrangement, you find that they say you still owe them money. So in about 2 to 3 months time, we are going to implement the direct settlement system. And it is a law now. So we have everybody has to comply. The settlement system is going to wire the money upon the receipt within 5 days. 5 working days. They are not supposed to have to stay with that money, and they're supposed to wire it from growers' account. All payment to growers for coffee sold and for service rate and for sale coffee, whether by marketing agent, dealer marketers, warehousemen, also organizers, coffee societies, and companies, submitted into the individual account from the direct settlement system. So the money is going to be wired just the same way employees wire money employers wire money or salaries in this account. This is the way it's going to happen. I've talked about the weaknesses. Um, they say that we have raw capital, and they say the bankruptcy of about 1 million US dollar was paid. And then I said that the commercial market managers, they used to receive those money and attempt to delay while trading with it. I think I've talked about it. Then the risk on farmers' money in the hands of CMS. We don't know how much they are holding. It is not their money. They are supposed to wire the money to the farmers. But you see, still they still hold the money. We tell them, give the the money they said you have given, you go to the farmer. So it was just back and forth process where there's no accountability. My sister was talking about it. Then the growers also not able to assess the auction. So if a grower also wants to assess an auction, you only get the grower market arrangements and then you're supposed to set and process it and offer your own coffee if you feel that somebody else is not giving a good service. You're supposed to offer your coffee to the auction for people to buy. So those are the issues that have been addressed by the new resource I was going to set supply. Those who are organizers shall be the manager of the auction floor, central trading sample, where you can take that copy for analysis, information literacy, and direction system. They're also supposed to maintain records relating to coffee sales, coffee samples, and shipping, and as well as sales catalog to interested parties who would like to purchase that. So if somebody wants to do the management of how the auction is conducted, then those are the key functions and the roles that we have to play. And right now we have the Nairobi Coffee State, or Nairobi Coffee State, where who has been licensed for the doing that activity. Before this, you find that there's something not known as the noted fee. You take the coffee, nobody wants to confirm the price. They say some price, they give a lower price, and they say that it is noted. Then later on, they negotiate after the auction and they agree how much is supposed to be done. Right now, all negotiations and the trading are supposed to be concluded from the trading floor. That those are the changes that have been put. So if you are supposed to participate in the coffee auction like Starteam, make sure that when you bid and you have noted the bid, please make sure that the trading, the negotiations are finished on the same day so that we don't have any side so that coffee has not been agreed upon. Otherwise, you are denying another person who would have bought that coffee at a higher price. Of course, upon confirmation of the payment by the excels and endorsement by the auction organizer, then the goods can be transferred to the buyer or to the auction is after changing ownership interest in the coffee bar through a coffee bar. There is a coffee bar is going to be issued by Nairobi Coffee State, confirming that study was bought this coffee from Kenya Farmer, Uranga Farmers Union, any society in the that offer their coffee. I think so far so good. The obligations If you are there. I think we have talked about changing the ownership through warrant files, and you must get a warrant that you say if you are accepting that you are going to copy, and now that copy blocks you because you have sufficient pay to use that block from house the door. The mechanism of also and the direct settlement system of provider service are set out in the code tools, which are being developed in this regulations. Also, our commercial bank which expresses interest is also supposed to be given out to participate in this. And they also recognize and send them to service agreement with commercial banks which qualify and are appointed. I think this one may not be of benefit to this, but that is how it is being managed. Regulation 46 notes that the provision of Regulation 46 A and B on market agent license expiring as at 30. These are the people who are doing the management or selling the Kenyan coffee as 30th of 2021 and also 30th 2022. They are still supposed to continue until we put this infrastructure in place. So we shall still have our coffee sold through the marketing agents, but in about 2 to 3 months' time, if you find the changes that they are no longer in charge of marketing, you should be able to know that because of the new regulations. I want to take you back now, having known how the regulations are in this country and understood the concept briefly about the Kenyan coffee industry, how it is being regulated. I just want to share with you to understand the concept. How does the Kenyan, how is the coffee structure in the entire world? How does it work? Where do we get our coffee for export? Who are these people who produce the coffee? Where does Kenya fall? And also, what is expected of us? And what are we in relation to other coffee producing countries globally? I felt that it is better for you to understand that, being in the coffee value chain, what I talked about much earlier, so that we can appreciate it. I'm going to go very fast. So I'll finish with the value chain where we are. I'll finish with the regulations. And now I'm going to take you about 10 minutes or so about the Kenyan aspect. How is the coffee structured in the whole world? There's something called the coffee paradox. Coffee paradox is very fun. Coffee paradox is that in the whole world, you find that we have the equator there. That's this red one. This one. You can see the equator there. Then we have the tropic of Cancer and the tropic of Cancer. The coffee paradox is that it creates a coffee belt from there down up here. So this region globally, this is where coffee is grown. Between the tropics of Cancer and the tropic of Capricorn, and particularly along the equator. So that is the main that is the paradox, how the world is. And that is the world. So you find that consumption, production takes place in the southern part of the world, but interestingly, they don't consume that much. Consumption takes place in the northern hemisphere of the world. That is the paradox. Over 90% of global coffee production takes place in the southern part, but almost 100% or over 90 is consumed in the northern part of it. This is where we export our. So production, the coffee production consumption pattern provides insight on how we can create. The north-south economic relations is very, very difficult. So when we have war, southern part of the hemisphere, we get affected. Those are the issues that we need to understand. When we have the frost in the northern, in the southern hemisphere, then the no production. So that symbiotic relationship is very critical and stability of the country so that we are more incentives like war and animosity for coffee trade to take place. Otherwise, we shall continue having a coffee crisis in coffee producing countries with the same response to coffee crisis.
That maybe before you go, think that I wanted to ask something about it. That out of the 500 billion industry, only 1% comes to the south.
Yes, he's right. And he shall reach there. He says that 500 billion that is coming as a result of the Kenyan coffee trade, only 1% comes to the southern hemisphere. And that is what we are calling about the coffee paradox. We feel a two-time is not on our side. This has discussed somewhere. As a result of that, what Mr. Joseph has mentioned is that now we have the coffee prices. Because of the low coffee prices, what it was about only 1% of the 500 billion which is traded on coffee, only 1% of it comes. And we shall see the reason why is that one so. And one of the reasons is that we do very little about this. And money is there in the word this, and I'll talk about it. It's called materiality in coffee. Where his money is. You'll find it somewhere in my presentation. But I'll move very fast because of the time. Look at the countries that produce coffee. You should be able to understand as we were in the coffee. We have Brazil leading with 7.4%, followed by Vietnam, Colombia, Indonesia, Ethiopia, Honduras, India, Uganda, Mexico, Peru. We are nowhere. Kenya is nowhere in the top coffee producing country, top coffee producing country. Does it all well for us? Huh? Hello? Does it all? This is just I like this conversation like this, just an interaction. You don't. There's no need to victimize. You just feel we are in a conversation so that we flow together. Does it all well for us? No. Why? Why is it so? Yes. But if it means that if you don't have a representative in parliament and you are a constituency who doesn't have even an MP in parliament, do you really feel represented? Huh? So any issues where policy issues or where policy issues are being made pertaining to public production, you will find Kenya is not represented. Because they will say that you can't make noise here. How much do you produce? How much do you produce? We can't give you a seat. We give it to serious people. So where there's going to be decision people, whether we are talking about the prices, Kenya might not have an opportunity because we are not known. We are around, if I do it up to where the last person are, there are about 3 countries producing coffee globally. Kenya is around number 17. So it is not, it does not augur well for us. And that was also calls for us to do a concerted effort to increase production. Global coffee consumption, yes, I want now to tell that now. We have done production, then how do we consume coffee? The world consumes coffee. We have 166 in 2021, 166 general 46 million bucks. Africa consumes only 12,243 million bucks. Yes, and the senior countries consumes about that. I mean this one because I don't want to consume to take much of the time. This is the color of my just one because it's the most recent. Then Central America, Mexico, they consume about 5 million seeds. Europe consume about 54 million bucks. North America about 30 million bucks. South America, they produce 27 million bucks. So you'll find that other than the Central America, which is made up of only very few countries, about only 4 or 5. Africa, which is made up of American, is 53 or 51. 53. We only consume going to be a balance. So that is also a challenge. But in terms of increase of consumption of the percentage increase, we are fairly well. We are doing well. People have woken up, and the change on when you aggregate what was consumed here during this time and here, you find that we are having trajectory growth. As a result, what does it portend? It means that consumption of coffee in most of African countries is taking shape, and that is why we are opening the capital tech. Starting is opening coffee houses, and that means food is for your people. Other countries have stagnated, they are growing, but Kenya is also growing very fast. What are the vehicles used to promote this coffee? The first one is the youth, which is doing very well. And we have been leveraging on the youth of the Kenyan youth. They provide the right information. If you provide the right information to the youth, they just make that. Like you demystify the fact that coffee does not contribute to bad health. The youth usually ask us when we go to the universities. We explain to them, they understand. We allow them to share their experience. That if you take coffee, I took coffee, and this is what I realized. And we do sample and give them. Then we have what is called a win-win situation. So these are the places where we usually go, and the directors usually go. We have coffee in universities, usually meet, we talk to them, we do this and what this is all of. We have covered almost Kenyan universities. I don't think there's any that you have not been. All Kenyan universities, I think the only one I can be sure that you have not said in Kenya. This is a thing that I'm going to build and other than that, the two, we have covered the entire Kenyan university, then private or public. And we want to sensitize the youth because they are the people who are going to make the decision on how to purchase coffee. We are going to find a coffee house in we have supported universities by establishing coffee houses in universities. There's one that we have offered at that university. So critical success factors are quantity, materiality, which I talked about, and also materiality that is money and person service quality. So this is when we opened a coffee house, we supported them. And this is now when our young graduates are coming from the university, we will have a clear concept of mind that coffee is good for them and you like their coffee. And when they transit, some of them with the supply chain managers, when they procure coffee consumption, like tea, we also like to bring the concept of coffee. They say, we would like coffee to consume. So that's the aspect that why we are establishing coffee houses in the universities. This is the trend of food production and consumption in the country. I'm talking about the coffee consumption, and you can see how where we started. You only consume about 1.2% of what we produce. We have continuously grown this. Up to last year, we are consuming 4.3%. We are almost about 5%. So coffee consumption is growing in this country, and that one means well for you people as country. Now, when you want to export, these are the top 10 market destinations of Kenyan coffee. We have Germany, which is the number one, but now it has been joined by US. US is now doing very well. Then we have number 3, Belgium. South Korea is coming, Sweden, Finland, Australia, Norway, UK, Japan, and others. So the top 10, those are the ones, the top 10, when we export, this is why, and mostly that is why you see US, the beauty in the US is that they give higher prices of Kenyan coffee. And that is why most of the guys are usually my friend there. I think he has sensed that, and he knows that. He has a feeling, and he has been very much frequent this Seattle, in Boston, Chicago, is looking for a market for the green coffee export. And you can see how we are performing. I'll share with you, so don't worry, even if I go very fast. Now, in the African context, Tunisia is doing well in terms of consumption. This is a market that is able to target Tunisia. They are doing very well, and then followed by the Republic of South Africa. They are also our coffee consumer. But you find out that most of us are not doing well in terms of production. So Tunisia is growing, and also one country is also very growing, but like this is Somalia. Somalia is also coming up. They are also buying coffee from us, and we should tap into those markets. We also buy coffee from other countries. They come to Kenya, and we import them. And we find that in addition to the fact that we import coffee, other countries also export coffee. Other countries also import coffee from us. Belgium, after doing that value, it means that they find that there's a market in Kenya. Italy, Malaysia, Netherlands, South Africa, Tanzania, and UK. In the year 2019, 2020, we have the Belgium leading, China, Ethiopia, India, Italy, Portugal, Republic of Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, and they still come and give us coffee. The question is to ask, where does this coffee go? Is it going to consume here in some transit? Some are on transit, some find their market in this particular country. Therefore, it means therefore that we are rich. And where you are as starting, you need to tap into that potential. If other countries can identify that there's potential for coffee consumption, countries like Belgium, who are very known for water diesel, then we should take the concept of water diesel, package this as Starteam, offer it to the market, and cut into the market need these other countries are invade. This is a domestic market where we should really be rolling. Kenyan coffee houses, yes, you should be able to know Kenyan coffee houses. I want to know next time. I want to know the names of Starteam, where they are located because we do a census every year. So right now we have about 506 Kenyan coffee houses spread out in the entire Republic of Kenya. And this one we do physical count. This is how it has been growing the domestic coffee consumption to give you just some hope that whatever you are doing is not in vain. You can see the graph is growing. And therefore, when the demand is growing, the consumption is also growing like that. And when the sample is growing, then the graph is also growing. And this is the green by equivalent of Kenyan coffee that has been ground and consumed by us. And you can see how it is doing well. So, my friends, this is just a confirmation that we are in the right business, we are in the right industry, which is growing. You should target when you want to do business, you target an industry which has got potential for growth. And you can just see for yourself how it is. So what now remains is to make yourself happy yourself well, as my sister Julie was saying, that you must give yourself a target. How many cups do you want to sell in that cafe that you have? If you were selling about 2,000 cups in a month, then what is your target as you come to give yourself you might think that it is a way which is very hard, but it is doable, it is sustainable, because it is the way an organization can move. If you can't have your target there, there's no use in there after it. You must have a target. And the more number of cups you make, the more money you invest to the organization. So this is a way to confirm that you are in the right business. And if you get your things well, as some surprise today, that you are organized and it is for your team, you are very challenging. I can't stop. So the number of universities where we have coffee houses, Bilam Kimati, we have United States International University. I studied at coffee house there. We have Stanford University is there. We have Megaton, and then we have United. Of all this one, the one which is disappointed is is a lot of resources there. And they decided to take it to the senior common hall where the student cannot access, and then the consumption is very good. But in higher level with the management, I want to locate it in the student center where it can reach everybody. Otherwise, I'm going to take away. It is there in the contract. Yeah, they signed it because I foresaw such things. You can't just give them. You can't construct and give them. They are saying, I've got over 10 universities who have written to me and they need coffee houses. You can see them on that one. These are where we have negotiated, and they're just waiting for me to give them the coffee brewing machine. They have the structure in place. People start consuming. So if somebody wants to put it for the exclusive use of the lecturer, when you hear one day, everybody can access, like the one in Islam, like the one in OCU, like the one in KU, then they want to make it for the use of the lecturer. So I'm not going to entertain that. I may go away and carry it. I conclude. Yeah, I think I've done where the opportunities. It is in the quantity, it is in the quality, it is in the price, it is innovation, which my sister talked about. But all these the critical factors are you must know how you price your coffee, make it affordable for people, know the target audience, if you're students, simplify the procedures, which is well documented if you look at the target. They want you to make the procedure. How will you do it? Simplify it so that they are measured. And then you must also know how what is the opportunity. Opportunity not now can be by day account. You must also know that the as I conclude, what are the roadblocks? You should be able to understand the roadblocks where you're working. But I want to talk about two things. In the business of coffee, there's a lot of competition. There's frontal attack. There's also flank attack. As for those people who are also coming as to buy your coffee, but they're just coming to see how they're doing. Be aware of them. Know the risk involved. The tariff and the tariff barriers in the local market is significant, so you don't have a problem. Second last, regulatory aspect of the Kenyan coffee industry is very key for your success. First, why we need to have a regulation compliance. How you are expected to comply with the regulation. Very critical. Know the impact of the direct system, direct settlement system. It is a new phenomenon that has never been tested before. Understand whether domestic coffee consumption is having impact in the long-term economic growth of coffee producing countries. What are the benefits that are getting as a result of doing domestic coffee consumption? Immateriality value, which we talked about. Beyond the symbolic and in person serving quality attributes are where the real value is generated. Then it's talked about 1% value. Why? Because we export our coffee as raw product, not value added. Now you people are in the value added. The most important thing is immateriality. Not the coffee itself, not the coffee, but something which I say here as materiality. Materiality means that it is not the core product that was selling that but how you are with your customers. That is where money is. Are there some other benefit that people will feel that I must want to start something? That is here, that's where you must. How do you handle them? Because you make the same coffee in art cafe. What drives you there? What is it that drives the customers there? It is none other than what you are interaction with the buyer. And that is the materiality. That is where value is. just sit there. How do you handle dissatisfied customers? How do you handle customers who are complaining? They just complain. How do you minimize the complaints? That when I take a cup of coffee and I make this, I just say, what, no, I can't go. How do you want to say, hi, it was special. Baristas are welcome. They know how to prepare a cup of coffee. They tell to prepare cappuccino. They tell you prepare to cafe latte. How does it come out? Does the foam come out? That picture of love, does it come out? If the person is not happy about the process, how does it come out? So that is where the money is. Then lastly, does coffee export have impact on the long-term economic growth of countries? Yes, it has. But not in the normal circumstances as we can do the one of the value addition, where we produce, we package, we serve, people consume. Why? It employs a barista. It employs a coffee bar, a coffee cup. It employs people who do the packaging. It gives us the opportunity for somebody who has got milk to supply. It gives the somebody who has got sugar. The sugar factories in Kenya will not have people who do not eat coffee. There are a number of benefits. Another benefit is that all you people who are there, if you are good citizens of this country, you'll find that you remain to pay as you earn. So that exchequer. You see that? You'll also be remitting the fund to the exchequer. This is where the money is. So there are a number of fringe benefits and it contributes to the general economic growth of this country. So the more we have coffee houses, the more we generate income from this healthy land. I think that marks the end of my presentation. It has taken long. I felt that we should be able to understand the benefits of how to work. Thank you.
Thank you, Benson. Let's clap for you. It's standing so that we can clap for you. Thank you, Starteam Group. I think Starteam Group, you are doing the right thing by being close to the people in the industry, people who control the industry, people who are knowledgeable about the industry. So Benson, I think this is just at the beginning. I'm sure the Starteam Group will work closely with you so that they can tap all this a lot of knowledge that you have. So let's clap for him. Then we did 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So thank you very much. We went for a very short time. I'm sure there are facilitators who are waiting online. And so we need to take the shortest time possible. So can you do this? I think we can allow you to do it. I know we have some few issues that we got. Our 10 minutes time. We'll get 10 minutes maybe we might have some issues. Yes, yes, just to get but by video, yeah, then you can just yeah. present. Who wants to go first to ask them some question? Chief Barrister. Madam, Chief Barrister, I can see you want to ask something. Oh, God.
Let's say, as we all know that people will only buy sometimes depending on how the business market is depending on how your product is packaged, or depending on and during your campaigns, maybe your campaign against climate because you everything. When you're laying out your campaigns on, let's say, environment and you also do packaging design, is there a way you benefit people who are creating from Kenya in terms of graphic design, let's say website design? Sometimes you also want to run campaigns on environment. There's a way art should be appreciated and the appreciated. That was my question. If there's a way you also involve creatives so that when you present your product there to the buyers, it's something that looks outstanding and can also outdo because we know that premium packaging design or a premium packaging design can also attract buyers. Thank you.
Yeah, you can go to Madam.
My question is, I heard you mention about coffee machines and coffee brewers. I'm asking if we want to open a coffee shop or coffee house somewhere, are you able to supply us with those machines? If yes, how can you assist us?
Someone else?
It's more of a concern question. These consignments of coffee that export abroad, the ones that get their way across the objective, who suffers costs.
Mine is most of the paragraphs, the crisis that is facing the coffee industry, only company, and that policy that should be there should be in place to help mitigate against these challenges that we face. So that at the end of the day, the market will be
You can respond to those few questions.
Yes, yes, for the interest of
Hi. In the interest of time, allow me to respond to 4 questions which are answered. The first one is where we the directed support creativity. If we have youth who are doing packaging design graphic, is there a way we can support them? The answer is no, because that is not our core mandate. The core mandate of the organization would have started by saying that we are taking the responsibility of enhancing production, regulation, and promotion of pen and coffee. So we must focus on our core mandate. Just as much you have been told, they are very ingredient. If you look at the components of the pizza making process, if they talk about the vision, they talk about the vision, they talk about the mandate, they talk about the core values. If we deviate from that, then we may lose what we do. So we don't have any in mind of having support to people who do creativity, because that is not our common. Our common is however, in my department, we usually train our stakeholders and we try to do value. And in the value addition, you must have coffee, which is very happy, and it is compared. Some of our stakeholders, they don't design the package in a way that can compete with the international standard. And the coffee will be so come from outside the country to this country. So I have quite a number of one in place. The only thing I can do to you in the event where I do training, I can also incorporate so that you can also talk about. We have told the need of running your product in a way that communicates with the buyer. The content might not be on the same point, but when the packaging is quite attractive, that is how we are selling it. So my answer is no, because I need to be honest, but we can collaborate. So you have my contact, we can collaborate. When I go to talk about the trainer people, like those ones who are doing value addition, society who are doing value addition, we talk about the aspect of the fund, we talk about the aspect of the level, we talk about the aspect of design, we talk about the aspect of e-marketing. You can come and but there's no way we support you as an institution. We don't do that because it's not one of the coffee growing machine. Is there a way the director can do that? The ones I talked about is a long story. I can see my sister Teresa is here. She's the one who can roughly understand or however I talk about this. That was a grant I was given, I think, in when I did a presentation and I told them I want to bring the people from Samsung and I did a proposal and I declared a date, I think, December and the presentation was sensible. Then they gave me some money. When they gave me some money, I said I'm going to implement it. But when I was in the opening, I wrote the secretary and I put up the document and they didn't give out money. So the reason why I requested for funding from donors or from international organizations, I earmarked a number of coffee houses to be started in the process. I have to leave the decision making over some this institution. During that time, I think Professor Mabau, he was the VC of the University of Nairobi. Who, Father Wamuguna, I had to get an access to him. Then he asked me, young man, you want me to start a coffee house here? And I don't buy my lecturers laptops. I don't buy my lecturers teaching equipment. And you want me to start a coffee house? Forget it. I can't do that. And that is why you don't see him. Because you know how he makes decisions. He rules and it's fine. You don't argue about it. But the universities that were open to me and were ready, I saw their need and they saw me on the places where we have like Arabia, and then mine was now 50. I made a presentation and made a request to the one, to the international coffee organization, and they gave us some money. The money they gave us was very little. It was enough for me to buy some equipment. But I usually travel a lot in the international market. So I had some money which was not used for the international market because of the COVID. My boss told me now, instead of building only one coffee house, why don't you just use the money you never use for international travel and you do for them, because you are not in a program plan. This is a good. Instead of coming with one, why don't you do a decent amount? So that is how we ended up. And when they realized that, they said they are going to support me. That is the international coffee organization and the African coffee organization. when they do, I'm going to put more coffee houses in the ones who are in universities. Like right now, I'm looking for the one. Last week, I when I was in university, they do it in my house. And this week, next week, I was supposed to be at university in Nairobi. And how then they came to me and being the premier institution in this country, the first university. I felt they said that it is not fair that we leave them and decide other university. Then I realized that they lost and those people might just have been acting for them as if they already revenue activity as opposed to what they saw earlier. So there's now a scramble for coffee houses. They are not the best, but we don't need them. Yes, but you can offer your expertise because they ask us the barista. They don't train baristas, but we like to start training, but you can offer your expertise. So I think that is the key process. Coffee consignment, we usually have consignment usually have some also the country samples. The person who samples the coffee buyer, not the farm. You get it? Because this coffee has already been bought and also. The person who bears the risk is the buyer, like Starteam. So when the coffee is rejected, he says that he wants to supply 200 bags of AA to a buyer in Japan, and the coffee is sitting there, and then it doesn't make the president of the EPM, and then there's some controversy around the state. It's not going to take back for that farmers coffee research. The money has been used, the person who has the risk and the bias. But it does it turn around for us? No. So whatever you saw in the newspaper last week, of course, the problem we have in this country is that people like what is called sensational stories, sensational news, without establishing. Yeah, the reporter there, one of them asked me and I explained well, and of the lesson, of course, it does also the business. I explained very well what is the issue, and I said, please hold on. You are not FDA outside the country from America. Who is a neutral person. Yesterday, but we were yes, we looked at the facilities. There's something he said was not doable. It was bought yesterday, Friday. The results they do to do the analysis. So we are doing the analysis of the coffee samples, and then the result will be known in the course of next week or next week. But I think next week, because next week is much. So if I told the guy now, just wait. Don't rely on one party type of news. And you say your mother is bad. Ukisikia mwingine anasema wewe mama yako ni hivi. Mama yako ni mama yako. So you don't write bad stories about them. That is what we have not thought about ourselves, about objective reporting. They see something one-sided story from Japan. It is in the newspaper everywhere. I challenge them, can you confirm on what parameters you say that you know whose coffee was it? You know it is Kenyan coffee. So what we did with the caps, for your information, they called me as the person in charge of marketing. They came to our offices. We do what is called a chiding. We told them, can you insert the coffee into our sample with their part? This one, yes, this is for China, and this is for the domestic market. So they took sample of the coffee randomly. Now this coffee is what they are going to test and check what are the content of the PPM. So unless this report is given this out, I think our reporters will report something based on information from one side. They might have their own something could be true or not. So I told them hold on, but I was surprised. I know that the way they behave, they want things which are a bit sexist, with some kind of deadline which are not real, and trying to protect the land that is not doing this better. I say started, somebody starts shouting about their mom. "Oh, mama yako ni hivi, unaona tu amekula pombe." You also start accusing your mother based on that. So we must also learn how to protect our country. Go to America. Usually we didn't go to America. America is one of the most unsafe countries, but people don't know. Because somebody can just feel it doesn't like that place and just like so. You went for a business. If they report it, you get it there. But if it happens here in Kenya, the story is everywhere. You see that? So we have not learned to be what is called patriotic in our service in this country. And that's element. I don't deny. Yes. I was in Mombasa within last week, part one. You were being asked me what I just back on me when the guy I said, you must come and discuss the things. After meeting him, I think the following day I met a lady from US and I expressed this concern. She told me one of the challenges that is our own, but it's used that is about hypothesis. She said, the basis of the things are just correct, but the basis of the level of equipment may not be that precise enough, like the way those people are. And we don't know the nature of the equipment they use to test the one that our says it is recommended is 0.05 parts per million. 0.05. That's of the chemical level which is under RML, MRL, minimum decimal levels, which is allowed is 0.05. But theirs was 0.06. So the point of contention was just 0.06 or 0.01. From 0.01 was the least, which is the minimum of contention. We as not far back, the calculation is maybe if you look at the calculation, how was it? Calculation of that nature needs to be tested almost after every month. If at all they use calculation in Japan, what they use the machine, they test the machine that what we calculated for the last 6 months, then it is prone to error. And now people can just report on that without looking at that thing. So we are addressing it, yes, and I believe Mona is able to the minister next week platform will be able to give the report. These are policies that are released by any other minister because fighting on the countries are all. So we are doing much, but we cannot overrule it. But the issue is the 2,4-D chemical, which was banned globally, was being used by our farmers as herbicides to control weeds. Why did it come out? Because of the legislation we are discussing outside there. Nobody is there willing to tell the farmers that this chemical we are using to spray the weeds were banned about 5 years ago, and they're not supposed to be used. Nobody is telling them. But when you go to do something in the county, they tell you that that is the law. And this is a quite expensive. Somebody else where did they really start beating us? So I think members and members of the committee is successful. We should put an concerted effort, and the county government needs to take some back and everyone is their responsibility. It's just not that in the Constitution of 2010, if you look at those planning, it says agriculture is the goal. Yes, it is the goal. But what I mean, when they see the national government, the National Irrigation Authority, the Agricultural Authority, and any other government agencies going down there, they come to work. Don't come with anything. Ours is just that is the goal. Don't want to see here. It's as if we are fighting for something. So I think the challenge that we can face as a country. We are doing the much, but what is lacking here is to pass the right information to our farmers. When coffee research foundation, the original coffee research foundation used to be, we never used to hear this thing because we used to go to the grassroots level. We used to try to team up together with them and go and give agriculture extension in the training. You know, I see those trainers that we used to do at the country level and at the district because of them. No longer they're not there. Because there's no funding coming as campaign for COVID research tourism, COVID directly, development fund, and the data was involved. So it is a complex issue. But when issues like that come, the person who fires the ground, who's facing the challenge, is the directed, is responsibility to the regulator. So I do believe that the FDA, Food and Drug of Agriculture, Food and Drug, that we have brought from America, we're going to do, even if the report is not released officially, a part of that panel, and be able to give sideways information of the proposal of what is really where the proposal is. Given the sample, of the sample that are taken from our territories at Coffee. Last is about the coffee rundown. Facing the Kenya industry in terms of production. What are we doing as a directorate and confident what improve production? Yes, given by my sister, yes, that is a challenge we are facing. But the bigger challenge we are now facing there, if I mean about the devolved function of the focus still is the register around is where we got it wrong when we enacted the Upper Act of 2013. When we brought over 14 government parastatals to be under one. When we brought Coffee Board of Kenya, Tea Board of Kenya, Sugar Board of Kenya, the Federal Government Authority, the Road Sensor Board of Kenya, Regular Board of Kenya, Upper Drink Board of Kenya, I don't know if you're Naivasha, nuts. You can't get an expert. When one day I was with a colleague of mine who's a quality expert. I wanted to go and start a coffee house in Massachusetts. And I met the professor. The first they said, he was called the late, he was the VC. So when he found us coming there, and we wanted to start a coffee house, and we thought a report was already, let us be there. And our secretary told us, when we arrived with my colleague on Mr. Somo, he told us that this is not receiving the letter, but this is going for you. As we are trying to almost leave, the VC opened the house, the door, and the house. Then they asked the secretary of the police, service we wanted to see. And they're saying, the report of the lady, so they're saying that from Nairobi. So the guy said, we Nairobi, where did you have a letter? Because appointment. We thought we wrote a letter, we carried our letter to the BC. He said, no, it's not the secretary. So when we went back and we sat down for a few said, guys, I'm giving you about 10 minutes. And just taken the view that you are from Nairobi and giving you here. What you were hearing from you. So we sat down and I grabbed his card, I took mine. Why was asked, what is this now? When you are uniform. He was like, what is this? What is it? I've never heard about it. He started to explain. He told me, he told us, will this really see the light of the day? You want to tell me all 17 crops are going to be under one person? Is this country mad? That is what the lecturer told that place in which he told us. I don't think this thing will see the light of the day. This is a wrong directed policy. But as you say, let us wait. So that is the issue we are facing. What that guy said long time about what 2030, that when you put several institutions together and they claim to be all our children, others are a different level. And when you are the director going on, you claim the issue of coffee If you want to be given a certain amount, there's a small organization which is young called Food Direction. Not even have a parasite of people. They also want to be able to want to. The relative will tell you the public tell you, no, I can't give people to do promotion. What to do the best and I get this money. Well, your sister there does not even have. Sister whatever does not even have a vehicle to go to the field. And you have priority to give this person a chance to get the money. So that is the challenge they have in the way it was structured. Has also contributed. So what we did is that we wanted to come back to our original institution, like Coffee of Kenya, which was Philip went all the way, Sokapot went through the way, Arekam and the rest. But because somebody was not interested, they were late at the last minute when the parliament was going to be dissolved. So when the parliament has done everything, it went back, it was killed. So we are no longer back to where we are. And we agree with it that if the bill goes, we will come independent and give services to our stakeholders. So I think we shall still live with that. That the challenges we are facing are something beyond the organization because of the way they are structured.
Thank you,
I think that is what I want.
Thank you, Benson. And I'm sure Joseph will work with you. Parliament issues. That you can also assist him on the other side. Yeah, so thank you very much. I think that was good discussion in the morning section. We want to get into the afternoon session. And I think we will release Judy and Daktari for them to go to engage in other activities. So probably Judy may want to say the time of. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Judy, it's your turn.
Thank you so much. My parting shots, very fast. I have a minute.
Two, maximum two.
Whatever statistics we have been given here. In the Bible, it says there is no testimony without a test. Isn't it? You cannot have a testimony if you are not tested. All these challenges we are having here, they are meant to be solved. And you are there, solution provider. So whatever it takes, provide a solution. If I were you, I would take, just give me 2 minutes. Like this. Let's do something very, very fast. Like this. And don't look at your neighbor. If possible, go to your corner. Just like this, I want to see everyone. Don't look at your neighbor. I'm watching. Fold your paper into two. Don't look at your neighbor. Don't check how your neighbor is folding their paper. I'm waiting for you to fold your paper into two. Then cut a piece from any corner of your paper. Don't look at your neighbor. Just cut a piece from any corner of your paper. Fold your paper again into two. Cut another piece from any corner of your paper. Fold it one last time. And cut the last piece from any corner of your paper. The last piece. Now open your paper. Let us see. I get some myself. Let us see your paper. Fold. Kindly go round. Check for me any two that look alike. Check. Please check. Any two. Any two. Yes, that's how special we are. How you will translate that data to suit you. You may not need so much on production and everything, but your interest may be on consumption. Jennifer, take the data, use it for your own markets, network, look for business. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I think before you leave, Natali and Julia, we are very, very honored to have you here. Very pleased of your presentation. And I can tell you have not done justice to trying to do the program as limits of what you can do it. Because I know we just did the basics. When my university, we were taught about 101. It's not even 101, it's a quarter of 101. So we still do the other quarter. And we realize that going forward, we as we do the partnership, we engage with you. Going forward, you are also becoming part of the group. You are grants, but you can also apply. The grant as a form, you can apply to the government. Like, but then, of course, we encourage you, but then we know that you still need more this to have that relationship. Because now we have a relationship. I think the will be able to compare, for example, the group for the target, the group for that is presentation also because of our own group. Like that, we need also your support. A lot of it, we know that a lot of information. We encourage the officers to really try to get to the office, really understand more issues of it. I know the training that you can get from you is very a bachelor's degree. So we want the hope that we be able to work for the next 20 years. So we want to wish you all the best as you come back. Home, tell masters, and then we hope to see you in the future. God willing. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation on our short notice. We hope that we will something is not there. Yes.
I've shared the
I think at this point we move to the next presentation group presentation, which is on management systems. This is management system for business growth by the person Computing Limited. Hope they are in. We need to give them a chance to take the floor. Are they in? Person Computing Limited. An IT person. They're not in. So go to the Zoom one. That is opportunities in computers. Yeah, try to log in.
We can hear you.
Hi, let me just ping my team to get online.
Okay. We'll be waiting. But in the meantime, you can be introducing yourself.
Yeah, sure.
Or do you want us to introduce ourselves? I know we have another 25 minutes. So we are meeting. Yes. John is in.
Yes, she's here. So maybe I can start by introducing myself.
And our colleagues
Hi.
my colleagues are asking me that they would like to see your face.
We're waiting for one more person to play.
And I'm not gonna John, whether John is the lead person. No, but he dealing with people who don't exist. On a right note. So you maybe we can be introducing John.
So, hi everyone. My name is Pauline. I am a head of business at Vessel Completed, and will share my screen shortly. Yeah, so we've been working on your management system. So I would like John and the other team members to take over. John, can you go?
Thank you, Pauline. So my name is John. I am the MD at Lesson Computing. So the CTO is having a slight challenge with the link. The link is trying to use saying waiting for.
I think I've made John, I've made you the host purposes of this. Yeah. Yeah.
John, also, that there were two links. The other one was for 11:30. This one is for 12:15. So maybe he's trying with the other one.
Oh, we did that one.
Okay. Thank you. So basically, we can be able to start. So as we wait for him, as we wait for him to join, so maybe he can introduce himself. Then we can start. Michael.
Yes, morning.
Morning. Afternoon. Maybe you can introduce yourself and start, and then the starting.
Yes, my name is Michael. I'm one of the lead developers.
Anybody from your team?
We have a group of 20 here. I can tell you, John, if you really want to start introducing ourselves,
We'll take time.
just know that the starting group is listening to you. So to me, a picture, one
Okay. So I will start from a different point of view, and then I'll allow Mike to be able to take up and proceed. So we are having a small connection issue with the current starting, but we'll be able to make do with what we have and be able to share. So first of all, as a person, we try and give our clients a holistic solution. So I believe this is your current website.
Yeah, we are seeing something.
Yes. So we have over the time period we have noticed a couple of issues with the website. So this being one of them. So whereby people can be able to manipulate the different text and change text in accordance to basically different elements. So this is an example of one of those different pages that have basically different issues. So this is, for instance, the membership page. There are two pages that are slightly similar to that, that also have the same issue. So maybe that is something that we can be able to fix as time goes by. So that being said, person was tasked with the creation of a Starteam's management solution. However, we are relying on a third party to be able to do that integration, which is for research. So at this point, I would like to give Michael the opportunity to share his screen, and then I'll take it over and do the rest of the presentation. Michael.
Let me just join the different device. Please just try getting this device.
And we can't hear Michael by the way. He's talking very English.
Now you can hear me.
We can hear you at least the
And right now you can hear me.
Now we can hear you. We never went to the group of schools. We end up very high school. Went to day school. So that's that.
Yes. Let's say you give me about
We are waiting.
So, sorry about that, but just give me 1 second.
Maybe use your computer because you are the host and he has disappeared.
Yes.
Just come and log in.
Yes, yeah, just 1 second.
But Pauline can be talking about the system to us. Then we can hear the English as you guys can speak the speak. So that we can save time.
So I can talk about the system.
Yes.
And then I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we are.
So, number one, as I mentioned, we're using, we have two options that we can be able to do about it, which I'm going to display. Number one, currently we're editing a POS that being used by the research, which has a couple of downtime, which affects our businesses. So, case in point, before the meeting, this page was up. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
So this page was up. So this is the page that Starteam is always uses to be able to log in and to be able to see the different sales that normally happen at at the location. So before the meeting, now the page also went down. So the credentials I'm using to log in are you with one boy?
Yes.
So I'm using one voice credentials to log. I was using one voice credentials to log in to that. However, Mike got a solution that will allow us to be able to present. However, we have a proposed solution that will allow you not to rely on